Hello, everybody, and welcome to the CCA League here on a Monday of all days. You know, it's a Monday. Why not? My name is Keon. Falco joins me on the other side. I gotta make sure I got the direction correct. How are you doing, Falco?
Hey, we're doing good. Yeah, a Monday night CCA matchup. This had nothing to do with the server maintenance last night, by the way, that a lot of us witnessed here, probably on CCA. If you're playing your CCA set, we saw it on Ludi tonight. So no, this was a scheduled match here on a Monday, a Division 1 matchup between USF White versus PSU Blue. And again, heavy hitting matchup. You can take a look at the stats here on screen. USF Splatoon Gold looking to get their second win of the season. However, Keon, they are facing an undefeated, a lose-less game team, PSU Blue, who's at the top of their league right now.
Yeah, Penn State Blue, PSU Blue at the top of their Division 1 Group 1 standings there. The 3-0 start for them, and when I see, I think they've been flawless so far. They have not yet, if I am reading that correctly, they have yet to drop a single game. And USF Gold is going to be the team that is going to try to dish up the first event, but they are 1-2 coming into this group. And this effectively, Falco, is a must-win situation for USF Gold, hailing from South Florida, of course. So that's what we are gonna have over here. Of course, team name is USF Gold, not USF White. For those who are watching this one, they're actually about to get started right out of the gate here. Falco, the first map being Hagglefish Tower Control. Let's get ourselves situated with USF Gold in the gold side. Blue side is Penn State, aptly correct colors. Anything that sticks out to you, Falco?
Yeah, carbon rollers, not something we see all the time right now, but Ty is going to be rocking that. Haya on the blaster, we've seen that. And PSU Blue really sticking to the comps that we know and love from them. Vapor on that Explo. It's going to be the custom Explo at that. Going to get a really early whale out from their rush player. Benadryl is going to be trying to throw a cooler out, going to be trying to get some splats as well, but not if Jay can try to get them. That's not going to work. But look at this, Benadryl just the only one alive as V is waiting for them to drop down. Gets that Zuka out, trying to identify Benadryl. It looks like they're going to be getting them with that arc shot, Keon.
Yeah, that was a Zuka shot that just lands onto the pencil, and that's all it's gonna be. They are able to at least USF Gold was able to get one member out of the picture, but these are slightly staggered, delayed picks here that is allowing PSU Blue continuing that momentum onto the second checkpoint. Now the question is, can they get the picks? The answer is looking just like that. Haya, of course, from Destiny Troops fame, is able to get is able to stop the tower from going any further. It's a great first push overall there for PSU Blue, but USF Gold now needs to respond.
Yeah, I was really hoping there was going to be some more momentum there on the side of PSU Blue because they had the player advantage, but we saw Jay go up by the canopy. They went down pretty quickly, and that's a hard position to be in when you're a gal with a lot of the RNG. But PSU Blue still picking up right where they left off. Two players have their specials. It's going to be a double whale at their special at that. One of them is going to be used, and we have the other one ready, Jay, waiting for that perfect opportunity to use it, but their Octoshot player is going to be going down right now as Ty's going to be trying to look for some shots. Can they take down Snow? They can, while trying to avoid some of this whale. Map control not really in the favors of USF Gold here, but they are trying to find opportunities to push forward here.
Yeah, they're still looking for opportunities. They are able to find a few picks there, and it's been enabled by Ty TV with that carbon roller deck, which has delivered at least a good amount of value. Now they just got to turn this into fights they can win, as Jay Money is actually going to be the one that's moving up just a tiny bit forward, just trying to see if they can get some picks. But we're on to this very neutral state right now with a grand total of 5 specials that are available. Triple Splashdown and Zuka are available from PSU Blue. USF Gold got the core. They pop every special in the book. The kitchen sink's been tossed, and they do take out one member. That was V, one of their famed acquisitions, actually going down. And PSU Blue will go one down, but South Florida Gold, excuse me, is going to lose 2. So Falco, a nice attempt, but it only nets 6 points.
Yeah, I was really hoping they could push forward just a little bit more. Like you mentioned, they had the player advantage, they had some of the specials, but they just couldn't get their footing to push in front of the tower, and that really only netted them 6 points, which is really nothing in tower control here. And we can just see the aggression now by PSU Blue as they had a lot of that paint and that map under control in front of that tower. Of course, they don't have that first checkpoint they have to get through. So we can see Jay here waiting for opportunities, waiting for members of USF Gold to go through. Vapor going to be using that splash on before hopping on the tower. Can they take down Inker? Yes, they can. 2 members down now on USF Gold here as PSU Blue approaching that second checkpoint. And right now, Keon, they're looking to be in a much better position than they were before.
Oh, they definitely look like so as even though Jay went down, so they lost Haya in the process. A 2-member down situation on both sides of the board there. It is going to be enough to stall PSU Blue once again, and still not able to break through the second checkpoint. But the way the game has kind of played itself out so far has been South Florida playing defense for effectively the entire game, and the kind of the worst feeling in places to be. And as Inker tries to make the jump out, but got snuffed out just like that. PSU Blue is going to be one back on tower once more. It feels like the amount of control that PSU Blue has been very, very strong so far here, Falco.
Yeah, and of course, with just under a minute left, they are sitting very comfortable. Like you mentioned, they have a lot of map control on their side. They're still pushing this tower. Now here's an opportunity for USF Gold to push forward, as only one player is going to be alive. That is going to be the splatter shot, as they are going to be backing up. So a lot of map control here for PSU Blue, fittingly in the blue color. We have the bright colors, by the way, for the teams. I'm just now noticing that 4 minutes in. But it's just going to be really hard because Gold, they're going to have to win these 1v1s, and unfortunately, they just aren't getting those picks that they need to, Keon.
It's very, very tricky right now. It's more of a testament to how well coordinated PSU Blue is. And I gotta give a credit to at least South Florida Gold in this game though, because Thai TV has been doing their best to allow any semblance of room that they need, but the team cohesion and coordination is very much there from Penn State. Now it's a 2-down situation right away, so there are 2 special available. It's gonna be the Whale and the triple splashdown, which by the way, the triple splashdown already down, so this is a good time now to move forward. It's a 2 members gone down. Benadryl has dropped just like that. They are looking for Jay. They're looking for where Jay is. Thai TV indeed gets the pick. Now this is a fantastic opportunity here because these are going to be staggered respawns. Vapor has gone down. V is the only one that's left, but this could be GG Zukas. Just throw it right into the tower as they get 1. That's a good pick. That's the second pick, and it may have saved the game for them. J and V is going to just climb right into the tower, and Falco, as you just noted, PSU Blue survives a scare and wins game 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is where USF Gold, they haven't played like this at all during the game except for overtime. They were on a huge trajectory to get that lead, but no, it was the Zuka shots coming out from V that just spoiled all the fun. Getting 2, and then one more player from PSU Gold or from USF Gold was on the tower, and that was just a beautiful play at the end. But here in the replay, I mean, PSU Blue literally in control the entire game. They would push the tower to that second checkpoint. Okay, USF Gold, they're going to be taking over, but this is where we saw the stalemate in mid, Keon, and there was just nothing happening in the favor of USF Gold, and PSU Blue, they just kind of capitalized on that and played the mid game for about 2 minutes, and that's all they needed to do. But you know, they were able to extend a little bit more. But USF Gold here, as overtime approached, V getting that lovely double, much needed double, and they had other players at the ready too. But when you can take out 2 key players who are by the tower, right next to the tower, and you know that's exactly where they need to go, that you need to ride the tower to push it. So the shots were just perfect. 10 out of 10 from V.
Yeah, perfect placement with the Zukas. It's exactly what you need to do in that overtime situation, is just throw it right into the tower and then just see where the picks are going to fall, and just being able to get 2. Yeah, you do have the support anyway, but as you noted, but at the end of the day, you will try, the less of that you can prevent, the better. So we go to the second map, which we're running the week 4 maps for the brevity here. It's gonna be Museum de Alfonsino Rainmaker gonna be coming up for this one. Which, again, if I look at the map list, there is gonna be the elephant in the room that we're gonna see in game 4, which we'll get to in a bit. But Museum Rainmaker should still be as standard as they come.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of the maps and modes where it can be very easy to get that first checkpoint if the center spinner is in the right spot. And, you know, that first checkpoint really doesn't mean anything, especially when you cap it right away. So it's going to be interesting to see how these players really kind of tackle that. And of course, it's easy to reset the Rainmaker to go back into mid. So this is going to be one that I feel like could snowball pretty quickly if one of the teams has the momentum. But We'll see what happens. We'll take a look at the comp changes. We're going to see 2 shots come out now from the side of PSU Blue. That is going to be Snow joining V. They are going to be switching from the Gal, and we're not going to see any comp changes on the side of USF Gold.
Yeah, USF Gold kind of just gonna try to stick it out with this one. And we did see that just the one push that ultimately almost was the game-winning push at the end, but able to hold themselves firm. So PSU Blue only just one minor change, and I want to see how this double shot is gonna play each other out here as we are stuck into this very neutral game here once more. USF Gold got a little bit of clearance to work with. They're throwing up the triple sneak strike there to basically try to disperse the rest of the group. They're going to lose Tai TV, they're going to lose Haya as well, and I believe Snow was one of the 2 that went down, but now there goes V as well. It's back to a stalemate once again, mostly as USF Gold is trying to look for the right chance to strike, and it doesn't look like it'll be there just yet.
Yeah, I'm amazed that that one of the members of USF Gold went down from there. It was just the lurking splashdown that got them. V's going to be taken down in Haya, getting a nice pick, and also on Tai as well. That wipeout, you got to capitalize on that, and that's exactly what Jay and their teammates did. Immediately rushed to that first checkpoint and taking control of USF Gold spinner with that immediately pop afterwards too. So Vapor now in a very good position holding this Rainmaker, but you have the blast, you have Haya just lurking up on top. We're going to be looking for an opportunity to jump down on and get Vapor, and they do. So that's a very nice splat. 3 down. Can they get the wipeout? Wow. They can. So a very good response here from USF Gold. We will see if they're in a position to get that first checkpoint, just like PSU Blue did.
That's going to be the ultimate question, and Tai TV was trying to open the doors a little bit, but they are going to try to move forward. Triple ink strikes would need to be thrown around the checkpoint, but they lost a ton of ground with the 2 members that quickly went down as well, and now the bombs are just being chucked in, and USF Gold first attempted push is stalled, and PSU Blue gets 3 members out of there, so that's just going to be that for the push. And what's kind of impressive, Falco, with the way this game's playing out as we get a trade, is it feels like PSU Blue, the first 2 games, so much paint across the board. It kind of makes sense with the weapons that they have, but it feels even more so, even despite the fact that USF Gold has a pencil and an Octashot that they have for painting.
Yeah, they do have a lot of paint at their disposal, and honestly, both teams do too, especially with the 2 shots on the side of PSU Blue. So there's just going to be, with all the paint, there's just going to be even more special buildup because you're just going to be repainting over your enemy's paint as well. So we're going to see them being spammed, but right now, PSU Blue having the Rainmaker, they do have a 1-player disadvantage as Jay's trying to look for an opportunity, opting to take the high route, but they're going to have to avoid some of these strikes coming out from Inker, and it looks like they do, but 2 down. Can they take them down? Yes, they can. So that's going to be the wipeout. A good stop from USF Gold as PSU Blue not quite extending the push that they've had. But USF Gold still looking for that first checkpoint as Haya is already past that checkpoint. Using the bubble, it's going to go down, but Benadryl is going to be getting that dunk. We will see if they can extend this push, Kyo.
That's the ultimate question, and that is going to be 3 members that have dropped. They did have 1 member explode, so their Vapor quickly recognized it. They have to use the triple splash on to just buy the spacing that they need to protect this Rainmaker from getting pushed even further, and all the paint being thrown into the mix is making it hard, but Snow finds the other avenue, and they won't be able to move up just in time. A little bit late there as well from the Octashot. I think that was Inker that picked it up, and this could be a big turnaround here. Penn State is now set up in South Florida Gold's territory.
Yeah, that's exactly what PSU Blue needed to do. Just pick it up and keep that momentum going from what they had before. 3v3 situation right now with Vapor holding the Rainmaker. One of the members is going to drop. That's going to be big if they can avoid getting spotted by them. And Vapor wisely rolling forward to try and extend the lead. But really not much progress that they've had quite yet for that, as Haya, once again, not being shy with this blaster. I love their playstyle of just really showing the aggression, using the bubble and some key points on the enemy's spinner. And the cooler is out now as well, but the Rainmaker, I believe, okay, no, look, it's picked up by PSU Blue. Jay is sneaking away with it, getting that dunk. Where did that come from, Keon?
No, I saw the vision too. South Florida Gold was definitely trying to move forward there, and I think you and I may have had the read of they're looking to go for the reset, but they leave an open path for the member. I believe that was Jay, if I'm not mistaken, or one of the other members from Penn State Blue that picked it up and just ran it the other side. One of the defense wasn't there, and it allowed for such a sneaky play to go through. And for USF Gold, that is incredible. That is a tragic way to lose game 2.
You know, and it always seems to happen on this stage too. For
Always.
some reason, it is always on Museum 2. And like that's one of those moments where we as commentators are watching, we're like, huh, they haven't picked up the Rainmaker. It hasn't reset yet. I hope it resets soon, or else USF Gold, they're going to be in some danger. But I'll admit, I didn't see Jay sneak by at all. And I think we saw some Zuka shots that were trying to come out at the very end, like right here. Yeah, there was a Zuka. They jumped back to spawn immediately. They must have been coolered and jumped back and tried to just fire away. But, you know, no matter the div you're playing in, you can always learn on knowing when to pull away from the Rainmaker, knowing when to reset it, knowing who's going to be guarding the Rainmaker, making sure that nobody can flank and pick it up. There were no beacons either. There were no beacons that were being played. There was a bubble, just not on the side of PSU Blue. So that was just such a sneaky play from Jay to pick that up at the very minute, because I can only imagine that Rainmaker was going to reset in just a few seconds afterwards.
It's one of those cases where you also take full advantage of the situation that you were in. You had a wipeout, and I saw the vision too, just trying to allow the Rainmaker to reset. But of course you have a brush that can just move fast in one speed of light. So if he is left unchecked, Jay, that was gonna be a sneaky push. And heads up play by Penn State Blue too. I think that's really what it boils down to is just understanding where that they can get, that they have such a clear path forward. But at the same time, South Florida just playing the offense a little too much. So they go to this Mako Clan Blitz map, and Falco, I think it's safe to say they got maybe something to quickly learn and have to quickly adjust coming into this one, because Set could quickly go out of hand here in the best of 7.
Yeah, PSU Blue up 2-0, like you said, best of 7, so just 2 more for them. Comp changes, there are none on either side. These teams, they readied up pretty quickly. We barely both got our thoughts in between that game. I don't think there was much for USF Gold to take away other than, hey, we don't want that to happen again. Whereas PSU Blue is riding high, but we will be moving on here to Clan Blitz on Mako Mart. As PSU Blue in a quick control right now as they're chasing down Benadryl, the last player alive. That's going to be a delayed wipe. Nobody in a position. It's going to be Jay, who's probably going to be forming that first power clam. No one else besides the Brush ever does it anyways if there's a Brush player. But no, Jay forms the clam, unable to score it. So that's going to be a done push. However, they do have another power clam that is formed, but BSU Blue, they're going to be forced to back up, and this is going to be a neutral game once again, Kyo.
Neutral game once more, and you pretty much know it. I think both teams are. I feel like the way this is going to play out, especially if we end up going to the position, they're just going to be dead set on playing almost the exact same weapon the rest of the way. So we're going to be curious to see how this is all going to play out there. Trying to find a pick on the paper, which they do, but at what cost? Their own lives, and it should be a clear push to the finish line, which there will be. 2 power clams already in. Kai TV finds the shot that was caught in the corner there, and that was B, I believe. And Snow forms the 3rd power clam. And South Florida is absolutely rolling as J Money finds a sneaky 3 clams from the backside. 2 members have dropped just like that, and there will be no clams to speak of. But Falco, this entire way from start to finish, it's still Penn State's Blues game.
Yeah, 3 power clamps on that first push. And I think what was really difficult in that situation for USF Gold is the one player who is alive on PSU Blue was the Brush player who was able to score in at least 1 more clam in that position. That is not the person you want to see still alive, who can just be the most unpredictable. That is going to be the wipeout on the side of PSU Blue against USF Gold, forming the clams, throwing it to Jay. Jay is going to be scoring. Still quite a bit of penalty points, but the Zuka gets 2 right when they drop. Oh my goodness. A huge shot from Snow, getting 2 of them down as V and J able to polish up on this pick. And no, 2 more again. The Zuka shots as well. Oh my goodness. PSU Blue in a very good position. We see a 1v1 here. Ty's going to be getting that trade with V, but now Jay's alive, getting down to 12. That is going to be the push. But man, this game is in complete control of PSU Blue, Keon.
I think we know why PSU Blue is very undefeated, the way that they've been playing so far in this entire set is heads up play and then just incredibly strong players so far. The Zuka double was unreal, especially when the players drop from spawn. It was nutty to say the least, as there is going to be the pick there that gets B, but at what cost? Again, another trade, and it's not going to be cashed in that power clam. And this is in South Florida having to play catch up for the entire game so far. But as Penn State Blue is trying to say, we're not allowing you one chance to breathe. It's just non-stop play and after non-stop play. Tide TV will try to open the doors a little bit, but they are going to lose 2 by themselves, so it's going to be neutral, but USF Gold needs to find a coherent push.
Yeah, and I mean, they have 2 minutes to do so, but they just can't really seem to get themselves to have all 4 members alive or a player advantage at that. So PSU Blue just still dominating on the paint control here in mid. Not to mention all the clams they have at their disposal. They have 13. Jay's waiting to form that last power clam. Will they do so right here? No, they're waiting for the perfect opportunity when they have a player advantage. Even the teammates are taunting them. Hey, form a clam. Let's go. Let's get this going. Vapor's going to be picking up the power clam that Jay then formed. Still looking for a player advantage right now. And right now, USF Gold backing up just a little bit, but some of their members are now still showing some of the aggression, like Haya, who finds himself in a 2v1. Can they take out Vapor? They're going to be chasing them. No, that's going to be a stalemate, as USF Gold now seems to be in a better position, but no, the jump behind the basket from Jay to Vapor. Vapor's going to be scoring. Clams are now going to be following up. Just 3 more, just 2 more. Snow has 1 of them, just 1 more clam on the side of PSU Blue. Does Jay have it? No, and somebody scored. I don't know who it was, Keon, but that was a picture-perfect ending for PSU Blue.
PSU Blue might be looking to run the tail and just take this home to a 4 and call it a done deal. And I mean, there's really nothing much else to note there, Falco. It was just total control from Penn State Blue from start to finish, and USF Gold. One attempted push was gonna be made, but PSU just completely surrounded that. I believe it was Anchor on the auto shot, excuse me, if I'm not mistaken. So USF Gold had several opportunities and could not capitalize, and PSU V's double times 2, excuse me, with the Zuka. I feel like kind of just sums up this game.
Yeah, that shot from V right there is like, nope, I'm getting the side shot where you're not going to expect it. And that was beautiful. That was such a key play for them. That was just a great ending. I love how coordinated PSU Blue has been. I mean, they've been coordinated this entire time, but especially on that Clam Blitz game where they were able to just, you know, we're going to spread out a little bit. I'm going to use a Zuka shot, not directly at you where you're expecting, but from the side where you're not looking. So in very similar fashion, from their first push, they could immediately splat players as soon as they drop from spawn. And I mean, you're in a difficult position now if you're USF Gold, because you do have to go through reverse sweep. You're facing a team who has not dropped a game in all of CCA, and we're moving on to Brine Water Springs Splat Zones, which is a map and mode we haven't really seen very often. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love all the non-conventional maps and modes, so this is going to be enjoyable. For something that's unconventional, it could work out in USF Gold's favor. I'm trying to think of things that could be a silver lining that they could, you know, could benefit them. But again, this PSU Blue team just seems so dominant this entire set.
If there is a map that you're going to have an oddball performance, and you may as well have it be on the map that not many teams get practice on. It makes sense, too, as we do get to see amazing stats, of course, courtesy of the statisticians out here with all the events that we have. And yeah, Penn State Blue has, with the wide variety of different rosters, along with the evolution of USF Gold, we kind of see that the zones is probably one of their more winningest modes of in their history. So this is going to be a chance for them to shine if they can do so. But for USF Gold, this reverse sweep sounds more daunting than ever with the way PSU Blue's been dominated. So Haya realizing, all right, we gotta try something. Let's just go dish out the Stamper. On the other side, though, PSU Blue still is just gonna dish out the Crab, and these are the 2 adjustments we have seen so far.
Yeah, and I really like the Crab pick on this mode or this map, just because there's so many high grounds you can kind of just use the Crab on. Zipcaster coming out too, that from, like you mentioned, Haya, I think is gonna just. The goal is to disrupt members of PSU Blue, so Haya is going to be trying to do that as well. We'll see how well that plays out, because PSU Blue, they were very quick on that cap, as Haya is going to get 2v1 against a Vapor and V. Ty is going to be taking down Jay, but Ty is not going to be in a 3v1, going to be going down themselves. All that happening, PSU Blue still holding on to the zone, slowly pushing up now as all the members are now jumping back in. Again, USF Gold trying to break back in. They do have the cooler. They're going to have to try and capitalize on this, Keon, but PSU Blue really not letting up at all.
Yeah, no, definitely not letting up whatsoever. And USF Gold is just trying to play defense and then trying to see if they can get the follow push. This is really their only chance to strike right now. Trip strikes the entire kitchen sink. The pencil is being thrown. Vapor's clutch triple splashdown seals it. And Falco, I feel this is just gonna sum up the set in about a few moments here. 2 members have dropped. It's gonna be all she wrote. Falco, I think we're pretty much done here at the rate we are. It's a 4-0 sweep. Penn State Blues remains undefeated, and they still remain undefeated, more importantly, in maps, too.
Yeah, 16-0 this entire season. One of the reasons they're the number one, I think they're the number 1 seed in all of CCA. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Keon. Yeah,
right.
Just a very dominant performance, and we've seen this all throughout their CCA career as a team too. So a fantastic showing from both of them. But you know, I think again, when you're already down 3-0 and you're playing a map in mode that doesn't really come up very often here, it's just hard to figure out, like, okay, what's going to be our best bet. And I think too, what was tricky is they were never in a position where Haya could effectively use a Zipcaster either. You know, because you need to rely on having some of the paint down, so you can't really paint the zone wall if you're Zipcasting. They just were never in that offensive position where it was, I think, going to be super beneficial. And they were hoping that would change this game, but it didn't really work out for them. And I mean, PSU Blue, the sweep, they did it again.
You know, so a 16-0 map record is crazy to say the least, because they are going to be loading up to the playoff 7 tradition. But Falco, I'm just going to ignore the game that's in front of them. This is how the game is going to go. So just to kind of give you an idea, Falco, with what we're dealing with here. So the other teams that are in this group is Drexel Dragons Splatoon. That's Grace's team for your context. UCSD Esports Gold, Old Bay Brigade, USF Gold, and UCF Knights, hailing from Central Florida, right? Then and there. The remaining opponent that PSU Blue has to basically complete the 20-0 if they could, or the 5-0 undefeated record, is a historic team for, out of UCSD Esports Gold. That's one team waiting for them, and they've been a pretty decent team so far, standings-wise here with a 2-1 record. So, Falco, personally, while this game's happening, I kind of want to see PSU Blue run the 20-0 record. But I'm sure the CCA statisticians and production are probably gonna let me know if this is the first 20-0 in the history of it.
Yeah, and then Keon, a follow-up question for that is, you know, they're in a very good position to make the playoffs. I believe they already are going to be making the playoffs.
Yeah.
On the other side of that bracket is Arcaley and VCU Big Fat Sea Cows. Of those two teams, Arcaley, they're, you know, 12-1 right now. Do you think they're going to be the toughest opponent for PSU Blue moving forward?
I think Arcaley, if I were to note the teams that I would probably see on paper that could give PSU Blue a run of their money coming into Division I playoffs, I think Arcaley is going to be one. I think the second team, because they've only played 2, their set so far, is Death Roll from Florida. And the reason being is that I'm looking at their roster right now, Falco, for Death Roll. You might recognize members such as Henlo and Nico Chico, for example. So, yeah, no, okay. They are in that team. I'm not joking. Yeah, so it's like Florida. My personal read is that Death Roll from Florida and the second team, Arcaley, are going to be the two teams that PSU Blue, if they were to meet each other in Division I playoffs, are the teams to look out for.
Well, in Death Roll, they've only played 2 of their sets, but they're 8-0 in their games. They were in a position that PSU Blue was in before. They just haven't played their week 3 set, but that's going to be a game to watch out for too. But I think you're exactly right with Nico and Henlo. I mean, 2 very, very strong players. This is a stacked Division 1 Group 1 and Group 2 that we have here in CCA. As we can see here, Group 1 here on screen. But yeah, Group 2 with that Arcaley, VCU, Big Fat Sea Cows, Death Roll. Very, very strong teams. This is a gauntlet. This is a gauntlet of a division.
Yeah, so so the funny thing is, Falco, so there's always talks about how the CCA in Division 1 has what has been designated as power creep. So I mentioned Henlo and Nico, which you yourself were probably, wait, what? And then there's also Central Michigan as well, the other team that is also in that same group that features members that we are going to recognize. I think Sig and Wok rounds out that that rounds out that group. Of course, we know Drexel. There's Grace, one person that we're very familiar with, near and dear as well. But UCSD Gold as well has pretty much kept their team alive for as long as they can. A lot of very familiar names across the group. I was also very surprised to see Death Roll. I was like, oh right, Death Roll does have a lot of notable players too from that roster that I think both of us were like, wait a minute. These are members I recognize.
I know. Yeah, you're right. Because I just know PSU Blue from their historic run in Big Fat Sea Cows. You know, they're a team playing in Ludi Division 3, so they're very strong too. I'll give a shout out to Central Michigan since my sister went to grad school at Central Michigan. So you know, we'll go with that. But yeah, so after all that, PSU Blue did win that Game 5. Game 6 here now as USF Gold trying to take over and pick up this Rainmaker right now. Again, set has already been decided, but like you mentioned earlier, classic CCA fashion, they're doing the gentleman's agreement, play all 7 here. You know, I do like these opportunities. They allow you to be a little experimental, but I don't see much experimenting on either of these teams. I think there's some redemption. Yeah,
I think you and I were both like, wait, they're literally gonna run just the same weapons the entire 7 games. So it feels like, so I've been here, being here in the CCA League, guys. By the way, I gotta shout out Cactus who gave us a fantastic raid just earlier as well. So thanks for the raid, Cactus. But more importantly, Falco. Out of all the CC traditions, either they just run back the same weapons, which is the more boring part of the tradition. That's kind of why we ended up glossing over Game 5, or they actually experimented with some. I know I was actually on the IPL site yesterday, and I saw triple blah blobbers and juniors during the tradition as well. So I'm like, I'm gonna give both these teams Falco negative points for not willing to change anything. They're still playing like in the actual game on the line, even though it's very clear PSU Blue has the dub already.
Yeah, and I mean, at the very least, it's still, you know, practice for these teams. I think what's tricky now is, especially in the previous game, and even in the Zones Brinewater game we saw, it's just that PSU Blue just completely dominated. So, you know, if I'm USF Gold, and again, these could be the weapons that they just are playing because, hey, this is what we're comfortable with. We're not looking to experiment, or anybody could have different motives to whatever weapons they're deciding to play anyways. But there's always things that you can change around. But USF Gold, I mean, they avoided that knockout on that first push here as they tried to regroup into mid, and there's going to be some trades back and forth right now to take control once again into mid, trying to identify which route they want to take. You see the strikes coming out from one of their teammates as well. But a lot of regrouping, a lot of recentering from the side of USF Gold. But we also see a lot of skirmishy 1v1s and PSU Blue doing exactly what they've done before, which is getting themselves in a good position to just getting the key picks in.
Yeah, so for USF Gold, the goal now, and the mentality and the mindset I've chatted with this with the variety of different people too, is now how do you try to at least end this one on a high note here? You're effectively now just playing for any semblance of pride you have at this stage. You haven't been able to take a game off of PSU Blue. In fact, not many people officially have either. So that's already asking a lot. But how can you at least end this set in a way that you wanted to? Maybe at least bringing the KO there is the goal. Maybe you can look to see if you can actually somehow take a win off of a PSU Blue that either it's just practicing or still playing their hearts out for all 7 games. Games here. The Rainmaker is going to reset by the end of it, and we are stuck to much of our division. It's still stuck in a neutral state. They have not made it past the first checkpoint yet. This Rainmaker, that is.
Yeah, but honestly, USF Gold, they have a lot more paint at their disposal right now. They had more control of mid, but you're right, they couldn't really pick it up. Haya's going to be the only one alive, going to be taking one down, but is going to be trading as well. And it's unfortunate for them as a stamper. They just don't have a lot of paint to work with, or, you know, if they're caught in a position, they know they're going to get splatted, so they might as well try and take somebody down with them, and they did. But now PSU Blue picking it up once again, 1 minute remaining. Gonna be just kind of taking their time with it too. Again, they have us pushed to 8, so they're looking comfortable, but Vapor is gonna be trying to take it, gonna be getting that trade.
You know, Falco, I'm starting to, I just saw a little blurb there from from the production side, they're gotta be trolling us right now. If they're not pushing the Rainmaker forward, they're trying. They gotta be limit gaming here and just trying to see what more stats they can have. And here's the thing. This Rainmaker is stuck in the corner. Nobody has bothered to pick it up. They gotta be. We're sitting here with 20 seconds left. They make it to the checkpoint. There's no way. If they've been doing this, I feel like I call shenanigans. And also, please get the stats for us, Vapor.
Okay, so a double-edged sword, because I can see the point. Here's the thing, with stat farming, like the set's already decided. So
yes.
In my opinion, it shouldn't matter. But then on the same token, if you go to a game 7, all of those stats should matter. So it's like I don't know what's better. Okay, first of all, I guess I want to ask: is there a fantasy league for CCA? I think there is.
I think there is a fantasy league for CCA. There just gotta be.
Okay, then they're rigging the system at this point. If there's a fantasy league for it, they're definitely rigging it. Which, I mean, by all means, if they should play all 7 if they want to, because we have the time for it. There's no other set after this anyways. It really doesn't matter. We knew we were going to be here for like roughly an hour anyways, so it's like it's fine by our standards. But if they're stat farming for the sake of these are going to be stats, I'm like that's the grayest of gray areas I've ever heard of.
Wait, so clearly, if there were fantasy implications here the entire time, first of all, people are gonna be putting out their pitchforks the entire way through, and they're like, "Wait a minute, what? This needed to happen in an actual like games 1 to 4. Why are you doing this in a game where the stats don't officially matter there?" And I did get a cue from DRF. There is fantasy, but it's based on the team wins. So this is even more. This is somehow even more pointless, actually, too, Falco.
But it's more whimsical, I'll say. It's less of an implication, but just more of like we're here to have fun with it too, which makes sense. Okay, play all 7 games don't count. Thank you, DRF. Okay, I thought they did because I would assume if the set is tied 3-3, then game 7 the stats are still going to matter. But yeah, okay, that makes more sense now. So. Okay, but PSU Blue, getting that win there in game 6, moving to game 7. This will be the last game for the night.
Fast.
They are fast. Yeah, they're not even changing. Okay, we see the T-Tech and shot come out. Okay, now we see the change. Here we go. We the nozzle nose we just never see, and then Orange Zap. I'm like one of the only people in Splatoon to actually have that weapon 5-starred, so I'm here for it. But that's a fun pick. I always love playing with chumps in Autobomb.
Okay, this is kind of where I'll give now Penn State Blue the chance to say, all right, now you got us back on track here. There with now. Here's the funny thing too is the only Orange Zap kit that I even choose to believe it would have been in Splatoon 2. Here in this one, I play it probably sparingly myself, but I'm glad that you're all for it too. The Nozzle Nose is okay. Yeah, doesn't see a lot of airtime. I get that for sure, and I'm not surprised that Cephalopod is not changing anything. Again, you may as well try to end this off on a high note as much as you can. I feel like it would be it would be worse if you end up losing to the Nozzle Nose and the Orange Zap, even if they aren't necessarily the weapons that will get the team this game 7 win.
Yeah, but at this, like you mentioned, at this point, you're still going to get the wins that you want. And I mean, all the members from PSU Blue, I feel like no matter what weapons they pick up, like they're gonna dominate and just be very strong with the weapons, anyways.
That's true.
So, I'm glad they changed it up, kind of just for our sake too. It's a new discussion point. I always like L3, you just never see it. Orange Zap, especially, you never see too, but. Again, Snow is just tearing it up. They were playing shot before, so a very similar play style, just a little bit more paint, a little less lethal. So they have to adapt a few things, but PSU Blue's still in a very good position. Are they going to get that first clam score? And they are. Vapor's going to be looking for power claim. They do form it in a position to score. They also have their splash on ready and a 2-player advantage as Jay is up here with the brush, just trying to be a distraction while the rest of the teammates from PSU Blue score. Getting down to 39. This push is not over, Keon. Will they knock it out in Probably not one push, but we'll see how far they get.
I honestly think that this has a possibility to be a KO in one push, but I think they might be playing this one actually pretty, all things considered, actually pretty smartly too. So that's gonna be the 30 points remaining, and I feel again, it feels like it's a testament to how strong PSU Blue is as a whole. The one thing too that I also just noticed is actually is kind of a flexible change from Jay here. Actually switching over to the Ink Rush Nuvo, which, if I am not mistaken, wasn't actually played in the first 4 games. So even though, yes, it is the same main weapon, there's a Flying Zuka that just gets the double there, and the third pick, the Wipeout, is there, so USF Gold has a chance to score. And Jay going with a different variant at least actually gives him the chance to see if he has any skills he have with the Ultra Slam that does come out of that kit. So I'll be curious to see about that, as USF Gold has breaking through the halfway marker, down to 41 points remaining here. And Haya, where were these Zukas from earlier? There, Haya's able to get a few more. There's the third one that drops, but it is going to be down to 41 points remaining, all things considered there, Falco.
Yeah, that was a really good push from USF Gold. And you're right, I didn't even notice the Nouveau change on the side of PSU Blue, so you're right, they're not going to have the whale at that anymore. But USF Gold in a better position, getting down to 41. They're only, one push away from taking the lead if they can get themselves in that position with about a minute and a half left. But, I mean, it's just a dominant splatting here from V as they're able to get some key picks. Benadryl, I feel like I've always just seen them be backing up, and like, props to them for not getting splatted all that often, but it's always hard when you just always feel like you're playing on the defensive side, and I feel like that's kind of the position they've been in. But maybe now they can try to be a little bit more on the offensive side as 2 players go down from PSU Blue.
And that's just been, I feel like that's just been a byproduct with how PSU Blue plays this. Jay has just put the stamp on the Benadryl, and he's going to get a few more. I think this could be jumps that are going to be provided here soon. There's going to be, actually, I'm trying to do the math real quick. If they were to cash in on the 2 clamps, we will be down to just 5 points that would be chunked away here. As here come the chumps. The chumps are being thrown in there into the base. It actually may have taken a couple members there, if I'm not mistaken. And so does build up the first clam. There's the Wipeout, and that will be the second clam coming in. There's two more for the KO, as V has 1 clam, but it's stuck in the crab tank, and that's all it's going to be. PSU Blue completes the 3 extra games for funsies and gets those. So, Falco, what I've officially learned is really nothing out of Game 7.
Yeah, I mean, this is better for USF Gold because they scored in Claim Blitz. They didn't really do that before. In the last 3 games, they haven't had any offensive push. It was really all PSU Blue that had all the momentum. Now a question, and I feel like I know the answer to this already, but PSU Blue, they're 4-0 in their record right now. They've won all of their games, but have they won all of their play all 7 games as well? That I don't know. I don't know if you know off the top of your head, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just have not lost a game at all.
Yeah, I think with the way that this team dominantly plays, especially if these play all 7s mean anything, is maybe it is probably most likely, but I don't know off the top of my head either. That'll be a question I'll ask Vaber after the stream wraps up, all things considered there too, Falco. But PSU Blue, almost an overall dominating performance from start to finish. The 4-0 sweep officially does that. Thanks, producer Jordan, for putting all the PSU Blue markers there. So, Falco, I feel like the best way to sum this up is, PSU Blue continues this dominance, and really, I want to see if they can run the 20-0 table out of their group. UCSD Gold is the last chance for them, and for USF Gold, if I'm not mistaken here, Falco drops to 1-3, which almost all likelihood knocks them out of playoff contention unless they get any semblance of miracles. So, I mean, at the end of the day, there, Falco, PSU Blue is just shows why they've been so dominant all season.
That's right, and PSU Blue going to be facing UCSD Esports Gold during Week 5. That will be next week. And UCSD Esports Gold, they are 2-1 with their record, 10 game wins, 10 game losses. So, PSU Blue, they're sitting strong. They're going to be moving on to the playoffs. That's kind of set in stone. And here you have the really interesting position between Drexel and UCSD Esports to see which one is going to be moving on. Is it 4 or 8 teams? I don't know if it's a top 2 or top 3 that move on.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it might be top 2 in each. But again, I think the guys are going to confirm that behind the scenes for us there. So I'm gonna be but right now, yeah, PSU Blue, all intents and purposes, is gonna be a lock. So if we're looking at that second position, it is gonna be Drexel and UCSD. And Falco, actually, I did cast Drexel and UCSD a couple weeks ago too, and in this scenario, the highlight is gonna be on Drexel, Dragon Splatoon over Old Bay Brigade. Gonna be an important matchup too as well. Is they both played each other, and Drexel actually came out with the dub 4-2 for that one, so they don't get to play each other anymore. Yeah, there you go in round 3. So it's gonna pretty much be a race to the finish line to see who breaks through. I think we're gonna be, for this particular group, it's gonna be set up for an exciting finish.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, there's that other group two, you know, with the 3 heavy hitters of Arcaley, VCU, Big Fat Sea Cows, and Death Roll. That is going to be a gauntlet of a group that these teams are going to be going against. Death Roll versus Arcaley, that is a key matchup that has not happened yet. Would have been in round 2. I'm sure it's going to be rescheduled for sometime soon. So this is a good one, Keon. This Division 1 CCA league. This is a lot of fun. We love to see it.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how this particular group 2 is going to play out there. There is the result. There is also more results here with Arcaley getting the 4-1 over Big Fat Sea Cows, which, by the way, Big Fat Sea Cows 2-2 record. There is a chance they might find themselves outside looking into with other records that are in tow. But you are right, VCU Big Fat Sea Cows, especially a strong team out of Division 3. Out of Division 3 in Ludi, and obviously out of Division 1 in CCA. Now we just got to see how the records do play out for them. So I want to see how this group 2 does round out by the end of the day there. But Falco, I'm glad to cast with you once more, of course, in the many different places that we have cast together. So I think that's really all we could say here from Division 1. So where could the people find you, more importantly?
Yeah, you can find me, Falco Flyer, on Blue Sky. If you're playing in Ludi, we'd love to stream your Ludi sets over on Splatoon Tourney. That's going to be going out. We're going to be posting our schedule this weekend, or for this weekend, we're going to be posting it tonight or tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, you should all watch Sunset Surge because we love our locals. That's going to be happening on Saturday over on Splatoon Tourney. And I'm sure you can watch a lot of CCA action, of course, over here over the weekend, which we always know and love. But Keon, where can we find you?
Yes, I'm going to do the same plug for Ludi tonight for you as well, Falco. Please, if you are playing in Ludi and you're watching us, please actually submit your matches on Ludi tonight. We'd love to cast your games here with the assortment of commentators and streamers that we have. So there's that. And also for CCA, I do the IPL's broadcasts for CCA every Sunday at 8 Eastern, so also tune into the IPL site. If you're still interested in watching Collegiate Splatoon, we will cast a variety of matches with my regular partner, the Shiny Hunter Zach, as well. So do tune into that. But otherwise, Twitch, Blue Sky, Keon2570. Thank you, Joyan, as well, for being an amazing producer. I think we covered all that we needed to cover here, Falco. So we're gonna get the heck out of here and enjoy the rest of our Monday. So until then, possible Ludi surprises weekend. You'll have to wait and see about that one.
Possible. Be on the lookout for that. We'll see.
we'll see how this works. There's your cue. But we're gonna be out of here with Joyan, Falco, myself. I'm Keon, of course, saying have a good rest of the week. We will see you guys next time for more CCA action. Until then, see ya.
We've had plenty of great Splatoon locals that took place in 2024, spanning all across the United States. Champions have been crowned from coast to coast, the Great Lakes, and the South. These winners, however, never had an opportunity to face each other. What if in 2025, we took this to the next level? Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown, a tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament. The best part is, you have an opportunity to play. In the early months of 2025, 8 locals will act as qualifiers for the LAN Championship Showdown, including Big Dapple in New York City, New York.
The game!
Bouillabaisse in San Jose, California. Chai Shoals in Chicago, Illinois.
Pretty hard though. Yeah, it's like that.
Gatorland in Gainesville, Florida.
It's just, oh, it's a wipeout, and that might be 8 points.
H-Town Splashdown in Houston, Texas. New England in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, they fell off the... Oh my god!
Sea Battle in Seattle, Washington.
It's a wipeout!
Sunset Surge in Arizona. Win at one of these locals, you get an automatic bid to participate in the LAN Championship Showdown in April 2025, streamed on Splatoon Tourney. Be on the lookout for advertisements from the local closest to you regarding their qualifier. Who will come out on top?
This has been Sunset Surge 2024. This has been the most hype I've ever been in a long time.
Well, I'm happy to hear, man. I'm happy to hear.
Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown. A tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
I think they get it. Oh, that's the game. That's Monkey. Oh my god.
Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown. A tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
Kicking down the clock, all four of them alive.
One,
Two
that's
picks.
it. Put one behind the duelist. Can they get something too?
The best part is, you have an opportunity to play.
Oh!
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 That's all the marbles. Wake up!
Oh my god! Oh!
Oh, that's a lot of control. He might just get it here. They
Allowing them to take the lead.
barely. You're gonna get blocked by the
You gotta go! You gotta go! No!
It's up to Red to recap the zone all on her own. And they get
Just
it.
like welcome back. No, he's got down the zip caster. Gets two. He gets two.
Who will come out on top? Introducing the Splatoon LAN Championship Showdown, a tournament where the winners of our favorite locals can face off in an online 8-team double elimination tournament.
And the tri-strike take two! With Kronos coming in and following up with the third, that is the wipeout going with 10 seconds left to go!
We've had plenty of great Splatoon locals that took place.